Hey, what is up, punks? My name is FlipLaScript. Before I hop into the video, I just want to say, give my last few videos some love. I guess the YouTube algorithm, or you guys might be getting burned out, I don't know. But if you guys aren't aware, I've made a ton of Fortnite scary stories, creepypastas, whatever you guys want to call them, last week. Some of them did really well, some of them are struggling to get like 5,000 views. So at the end of the video, be sure to check out my last two Fortnite creepypastas and my last one Apex creepypasta. I think it's really good. But without further ado, let's hop into this story time. So I felt like telling this story today because this is my very first date, if you couldn't tell in the title. This is the very first time I, quote, manned up, and I asked a girl out. I was like, hey, you want to go on a date with me? And she said yes. So a little backstory really fast. My dad had this rule for my sister that she couldn't date until 16. And he thought that it would be fair that I had the same rule. I couldn't date until 16. And I thought that was really cool that, whatever my sister had to endure, basically rule-wise, I had to as well. So when I turned 16, as some of you all may know, my birthday is in January, so Valentine's Day is literally like right around the corner. So I had just turned 16 and I didn't have a car. I had my learner's permit so I could like drive, but I couldn't drive unless, my mom or dad or someone who was 25 or older could drive, so that was out. But I did like older women at the time. And I don't mean like 40, 50, 60-year-old women, no. I was a sophomore in high school, so I really liked the senior. And for the sake of anonymity, the senior's name was Cordy. Yeah, we'll just say Cordy because I was looking at my keyboard. So I asked Cordy out on a date, and she blushed and everything, and I had a huge crush on this girl. Like, you know that crush that you have on a girl to where like you start thinking of all these love songs and imagining yourself like holding like all that mushy, like weird stuff that you never thought you would feel or have a conscience to feeling you were feeling. So I asked her out because of those feelings. I was nervous. It was like only the third time I'd asked someone out, and the previous two they said no. So I was just like, oh my god, eventually someone's gonna say yes. So I asked out Cordy, and she said yes. I told her that, I had a part-time job working for my dad at the time, and I was making okay money for someone who was 16. I was making like $150 a week. So it was pretty decent money for someone who was 16. So I told her I would handle the money as far as like date and everything. I just didn't have a car and I couldn't drive. And she was fine with that. She was fine with that. A lot of people, sometimes they date someone younger and they can't drive. So she was kind of used to that. And she was like, okay, cool. And we decided we would go see a movie that was close by both of our houses. Apparently she lives super close by too, so her swinging to pick me up wasn't a big deal. And so we agreed on this movie. We agreed for Saturday. And that was it. It's set in stone. I kind of went to bed early on Friday because we agreed for the movies at noon on Saturday, and then if we had a really good time with each other, then we could spend more of the day together. So I went to bed super early Friday. I was so excited. I was so stoked. I was like, my first date, like I was like, oh my god, this might be it. This might be the one. Like all those cliche feelings and stuff. And I remember I got up and, my mom and dad and sister are all excited for me. I think my sister's like 22 at the time. And she's like, oh, my baby brother going on his first date. And like my dad's like, I'm proud of you, son. And my mom's like, be safe. Like all that, fun stuff. And I go and I grab my favorite shirt. It makes me look good. I'm having like body consciousness problems at the time, so I picked the shirt that best complements my body. And I find these really, really nice pair of pants that I seldomly wear. And I cleaned up my old Converses. They look good as new, right? So then at 11:30, my clothes are basically done. I take them out of the dryer and I go and I shower really quick, get that last minute aroma on me before she gets here around noon. And then I get ready and I go outside and I wait. I'm just waiting on her car. I know what it looks like because, I've seen her drive it and everything. And she never came. No, never came at all. I remember my mom, she came at like 12:30 and she was like, just come inside just in case. And I still wasn't giving up hope. I texted her periodically, and then about 1, I texted her for like the 3rd time, so an hour after she said she was coming, and I was like, you know, hey, are you still coming? Are you okay? And she never texted me back. And to this day, I have a rule. If I text you 2 or 3 times and you don't reply, I don't text you again. Just because I'm not gonna look like an idiot. And so yeah, she never came at all. And Sunday passed, and I was hoping maybe I would get a text like, hey, something came up, my car broke down. Even if it was a lie, like, just I still wanted her to care enough to tell me why. And so I started to get angry because, you know, you made me look like an idiot in front of my family, and I worked like really hard. I like planned this date out. I dressed nice, for God's sakes, at 16 as a sophomore, and you stood me up. And so I went and I confronted her as soon as I saw her on Monday. And that's one thing I want you all to remember about life, is you need to confront people sometimes. Don't be like a douchebag, but like if you're feeling something and you feel like saying it will make you feel better, you need to go and say it. You need to confront people and just get it all out. So I confronted her. I was like, hey, can we talk like one-on-one? And you know, she goes and we talk one-on-one, and I'm like, basically, WTF, man, you stood me up, like what happened? Like, were you sick? Like, blah blah blah. And then she laughs at me, like not one of those like laughing at me, but she like laughs and she's like, I guess you don't know, do you? And I was like waiting for her to say I have a boyfriend or something like that, and she's like, no, I'm a lesbian. And that really shook me to the core. I was like, oh, you're a lesbian. Okay, it all makes sense. But it still didn't make me feel better. Like, I like props that you're a lesbian. You could have just told me instead of saying, yeah, we'll go on a date, and then still stand me up. So yeah, that's my memory of my first date. I hope this was funny for you guys. I hope you guys are having a bad day. It cheers you up. If you guys liked the video, be sure to hit the like button. Like I said at the beginning of the video, be sure to check out the other content that I've made this week and this last week. Give it some love. I worked really hard on it. And last but not least, if you guys are having a bad day, if you guys feel like Valentine's Day is a useless holiday, I kind of agree. It is a useless holiday. But you all will find someone that loves you. You guys will eventually. Just take some time. So keep on trying, keep on loving on people who you love, and the right one will come. And speaking of that, I'll see you this weekend, and hopefully my girlfriend will see you too, as she'll be doing a narration hopefully this week. Love you guys so much. Peace out, and happy Valentine's Day.